The regular meeting of Vesuvius Town Council, Monday, February the 19th, 2018 at 2 p.m. in Council Chambers. So first up is the adoption of some minutes. So the Committee of the Whole minutes of February the 5th, 2018, and the regular open minutes of February the 5th. And I have one item on there that I'd like to change in the minutes, please. In my report at the end of that meeting, it mentions the importance of the Oliver Emergency Department, and I would like that changed to the South Okanagan General Hospital Emergency Department. I'm adamant that we do not call it the Oliver Hospital, and so I've talked with Mrs. Hilson about this, and I apparently said the South Okanagan General, not the Oliver, and she picked up Oliver, so we're now adjusting that. So it is not the Oliver Hospital, it's South Okanagan General.
You just got thrown under the bus, too.
We understood that. She went and looked back at it. Yeah. So could we please have a motion to adopt those 2 minutes with the added change? Thank you. Councillor Youngberg, Councillor Campbell, all in favor. And business arising from prior? No, there isn't any. Introduction of late items? Nothing. So could we have the agenda for today adopted, please? Thank you. Councillor King, Councillor Youngberg, all in favor. Thank you. And no delegations. So first up is water matters. And flip to that page here. We have Water Districts 8 and 9 financial accounts to report on expenditures from accounts payable, and the Water District cash requirements to February the 19th are in the amount of $13,337.69 for council approval. And the options are to approve or not to approve. So what would you say, Councillor Claude? Well, he hasn't got his name tag out there. Would you, would you like to?
I move.
Thank you very much. Could we? Councillor Campbell is seconding that. We'll call him Councillor Mike. Okay. All in favor? Thank you. And next is the Okanagan Basin Water Board meeting, and I just had a couple of things to say about this one. It was questioned about why I was a director again, not necessarily criticizing, but why. And I am appointed by the regional district. There are 3 appointees from the South Okanagan, or RDOS, 3 from Central Okanagan, and 3 from North Okanagan. And so that's why I am on there again. The second item is that there is an Okanagan-built rototiller. The old one was pretty old, 35 years or something. We needed a new one. So this one is actually being built, I think, in Kelowna, and it will be ready to be used this summer. The river film, which was commissioned by not only the OBWB, but Washington State of Ecology and the IJC, has had very good reviews, and it was given an award of excellence. So there are several copies around. I have a copy in my office. There also are copies in every branch of the Okanagan Regional Library. So if you haven't seen it, please get a copy and look at it, because it's good. It may even be on YouTube. I'm not sure. Is that? Okay. And the invasive mussels action is, it's really being looked at very carefully. Many municipalities in the province have written letters not only to the provincial government but the federal government. And I do know that the Okanagan Basin Water Board is taking a lead role in writing letters, and I do know that we just got a letter today, which I haven't looked at too carefully yet, from DFO, federal. So I think people are realizing that this is a crucial problem and that we need to try and get a bit of a better handle on it than we have. border services have been looked at as they're wanting to have more and more of the personnel trained so that they know the right questions to ask and that they can stop people at the border and question where they've been, where their boats have been, and try and prevent this from coming in. So it's a huge issue and it's not going away, and we just appreciate the fact that so many communities have written letters of support for this. And there was quite a good article in the Osoyoos Times last week about this particular issue. And a couple of things, the Make Water Work program and Don't Move a Muscle, that are two signature campaigns from OBWB, will obviously be ongoing. So it's a very interesting board to be on, and it affects everybody. So could I have a motion to accept this report, please? Thank you. Councillor King, Councillor Campbell. All in favor. And next is the election amendment bylaw, the bylaws. Mr. Romenko.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. The Council adopted election bylaw number 1332, 2017 on September 5th, 2017. The town of Osoyoos is now required to have two required advanced voting opportunities. The first to be held 10 days before the general voting day, and the second to be set by bylaw between the 10th day before the general voting and the general voting day. Staff have reviewed when other municipalities in the region hold their second required advanced voting opportunity. In 2014, it was as follows: Penticton, the 9th day before the general voting, Summerland, the 3rd day before, Peachland, the 3rd day before, and West Kelowna, the 3rd day before. Staff looked at the options and considered the 4th or 5th day before general voting, the Monday or the Tuesday, but there was a council meeting on the Monday and there would be insufficient time to set up the council chamber for advance voting if it were held on Tuesday. Therefore, staff are recommending that the 3rd day before the general voting or the 2018 Wednesday, October 17th, be established as the second required advance voting day for the town. The Local Government Act requires that the polls be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. for advanced and general voting. In terms of implications for the community: second advanced voting opportunity, organizationally, preparation, and staff time to operate the voting polls, budget additional funds for operating a second advanced voting poll opportunity. This was included in the 2018 budget. And significant dates: election bylaws must be adopted prior to July. No sustainability issues. 3 options are being put in front of council today. First, that election bylaw number 1332.01 2018 be read a first, second, and third time. 2, that election bylaw number 1332.01 2018 be referred back to staff for changes. And 3, that election bylaw number 1332.01 2018 be amended to change the date of the second advanced opportunity to, and council can provide a date between the general voting day and the 10th day before the general voting day. And staff is recommending option 1.
Thank you. Councillor Campbell.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. It's always a good thing when there's more opportunity for voting, so I'm happy to see this. I move that the election bylaw number 1332.01 2018 be read a first, second, and third time.
Thank you. Are you seconding that?
Sure, but I'd like to speak to it.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yes, thanks, Mayor McCordoff. One of the reasons that I think that I'm hoping that they looked at this was because we have a lot of snowbirds that are going south. And I wondered, because I thought the recommendation that we made was it should be someplace in around the 10th of October because everybody was trying to get out of town by the 15th. But is that right? I'm not sure I remember correctly.
The second voting need was a result of us being over 5,000, and the elections this year are in September.
October 20th.
October 20th? Okay.
Yeah.
That's
That's
3
3
But it has to be 10 days.
Within 10 days.
Yeah, within 10 days.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just had to
Yeah.
Had to say that because I know it was a big concern, but our election was in November last year.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And that's why they
they've
didn't
moved
have
them
a
now.
chance
Yeah.
to vote, yeah.
So
Okay,
we're
thanks.
really a month early.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right, yeah, which is very
I'll-
much better.
Oh, Carol seconded.
I second it,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, all in favor? Thank you very much. And next is the contract for the Rural Area Twinning Phase 1 Contract Number 3, System 8. Mr. Dinwiddie.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. In accordance with conditions of the town's water systems operating permit as issued by IHA, options for System 8 and 9 compliance with the Drinking Water Protection Act were assessed in 2007. In a report dated August 2008, a long-range compliance plan is described comprising a twin domestic water system in the service area of Systems 8 and 9, which would be supplied by the town's municipal system of wells. This project is the third phase in the implementation of the plan to comply with IHA and the Drinking Water Protection Act. So basically, this project will continue with the twin irrigation system number 8, and consists of the following work. These are approximate quantities. So about 1,200 meters of 250 diameter PVC water main and appurtenances, 370 meters of 200 to 100 PVC water main and appurtenances, 600 meters of 19 to 50 millimeter water servicing tubing, 30 water services, and approximately 5,000 square meters of pavement restorations. If you'd like more detailed information, it's in the attached True Consulting report. But as outlined in the above noted True Consulting report, this is the second time this particular project has been tendered. This time we received a total of 5 bids for this project with more affordable pricing than the previous bid. Additional works have been added to this project, are necessary to improve the water quality for the residents of System Number 8. The projected $108,000 shortfall, which includes design costs, in the project's budget can be accommodated with water reserve funds. It should be noted that the entire $108,000 may not be necessary if actual construction quantities are lower than estimated or not all of the contingency sums are utilized. The implications for the community: improved water quality for the residents of irrigation system number 8, and elimination of the need to issue an annual boil water notice to area users from April to November. Organizationally, completion of the expansion of the town's domestic water system into irrigation system number 8. Budget-wise, it is recommended that $108,000 be allocated to this project from water reserves, and that the contract be awarded to Superior Excavating for $976,815, taxes included. Significant dates: in order for the successful contractor to begin work early in the spring of 2018, it is recommended that Council award this contract as soon as possible. Sustainability: improved compliance with the Drinking Water Protection Act and Interior Health recommended standards for public drinking water. Excuse me. Our options before Council are the Town Council award the contract for Rural Water Twinning Phase 1, Contract Number 3, 87th Street to 104th Avenue, to Highway 97, to Superior Excavating Limited for $976,815, taxes included. Option number 2 is excuse me. It's all this asking for money that's getting to me, really. Town Council instruct Operational Services Department to re-tender this project for a third time. Option number 3, Council requests additional information prior to making a decision. The administration recommends Town Council adopt option number 1.
Thank you very much. Councillor Campbell?
Thank you, Mayor McCorda. What do you feel the reason is for these bids coming in lower than the first time we put it out there?
Probably because it's the spring of the year. These contractors don't have any work right now, which was our strategy for re-tendering it at this time of the year.
Okay.
The last time we tendered this project, we only had one bid. It was in the fall, so people were probably trying to shut down for the winter, and it came in at $1 million.
And Mr. Menko, do you know offhand roughly what we have in the water reserve now?
I think the last time we looked, it was close to about $3 million.
Thank you. I'll move option number 1.
Okay, thank you. So there's no borrowing required on this one then? We have
No,
that.
there's no borrowing required.
And can you tell me, if they start fairly soon, should it be a couple of months and be done, or is this
Yes.
a much longer project?
No, they should be done before May, June, something like that.
Okay.
And then the contract number 4 would come out for the water twinning, which would be the installation of water meters in the area, but that's a different thing. So.
Okay. Councillor King?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. I guess I was just looking at that extra 108,000. That's not part of this. You're just tendering this contract for the 976,000?
Yes, but we only had so much money in the budget. We didn't budget enough for it originally, so that's what the 108,000 is for, to bring us up to the $980,000 we need.
So do you need another motion to?
We should have
Move that
another motion
108,000.
to take that out of the reserves, but the project has been tendered already.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Yeah.
So we're okay?
Yes.
We
Yeah.
moved and seconded. All in favor? Thank you very much.
Okay, so if we can get another motion to take the $108,000 out of the water reserves.
I'll make that
Okay,
motion.
thank you. Moved and seconded. Councillor King, Councillor Campbell, all in favor. Thank you very much. You okay, that Carol? You did?
Yeah.
Okay. And thank you, Mr. Dinwiddie. And next is the Wine Country Racing Association, and is that Mr. Romanko?
Yes. The town has provided a license to use the airport to Wine Country Racing Association for the past several years for the purpose of using the runway for drag racing events. The WCRA has requested the use of the airport again in 2017 for the following dates: April 28th, 29th, June 2nd and 3rd, June 16th and 17th, September 22nd, 23rd, October 6th and 7th. A copy of the license to use for 2018 is attached for council approval. The terms and conditions are the same as previous years, with the exception of date changes from previous years, but still on Saturdays and Sundays. Terms of implications: increased tourism and visitors to the community during race day events, possible noise to the surrounding area, organizational monitoring of the agreement and airport conditions, budget revenue based on 33% share of the net ticket sales and participant fees, sustainability, no issues. This agreement required renewal from year to year. Options, 3 options presented: that council approve the license to use to Wine Country Racing Association for 2018 as attached, and the town signatories be authorized to sign, that the attached agreement be amended by staff, and 3, that the request to use the airport be denied, and staff is recommending option number 1.
Good, thank you. Councillor Youngberg?
Yes, Mayor Recordoff, I'd like to move option number 1.
Thank you. Are you?
I'll second it, and just wanted to say that not only have I not heard of any negative feedback or concerns with the use at the airport, but it seems that the event is growing every year as far as attendance, and it's been extremely well received.
So I see that there's a 33% share, the revenue that comes to the town. Do we have any idea what type of money that amounted to last year?
I think it's in around $3,000.
Okay. And I see that one of the weekends is the same as the Cactus Jalopies, so they
It
do.
always is.
Okay, so that seems to work, to have everything here all at once. Okay.
Like
All right.
that was. Yeah.
So, did you want to speak?
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
Yes, I wanted to just commend the organization for entertaining so many people in our area, tourists and otherwise, as well as getting along with our Airport Society Committee. They work together really, really well, and so far it's been a great relationship. And as Councillor Campo has said, it's a really good asset for our community.
And do we
Thanks to
provide
both.
earplugs for Councillor King? He lives across the street.
He didn't hear you.
I won't make a comment
Okay.
about our neighbors.
So, all in favor of the motion? Thank you very much. Next is the Cactus Jalopies event disposition of land. Is that Mr. Davis?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Staff received information from the Sage Pub in relation to the Cactus Jalopies Car Show, inquiring about an added event. The Sage Pub would like to host a beer garden and barbecue outside the pub on the beach and sidewalk. A mini car show would be held in the adjacent parking stalls with one lane from the roadway supplying an additional viewing and walking area. The Sage Pub, in conjunction with the Cactus Car Club, are planning to host a registration evening that will provide another area for the registrants to show their vehicles. During this time, they would like to have a licensed beer garden that would provide beverages on the sidewalk and beach. They would like to close one side of the roadway, have controlled access for local traffic, and show cars in the designated parking stalls. This request amounts to a disposition of lands. Therefore, Council must make a decision whether or not to make lands available for this function. This event must also be reviewed through Article 25 of the Community Charter, which identifies limits that can be provided to businesses. Since there will be profits associated with this event, Council must also be aware that proceeds from this event are not strictly for the advantage of the Sage Pub. The use of these lands may be subject to use charge that needs to be approved by Council, since current fees and charges don't identify a fees for a project of this nature. A charging scale may appear as follows: 100% donation of profits for no charge for land use, 100% of profits to business, commercial land use rates, and determined percentage of profits split between not-for-profit association and business will determine a rate between these 2 points noted above. Administration is prepared to work with the proponents to implement a safe activity, and the CAO has delegated authority to implement the controlled road closure. In terms of implications for the community, enhancing the car show will bring another opportunity for local people to experience an excellent event. Organizational, special event application logistics. Significant dates: the car show is scheduled for June the 1st to the 3rd. If this event is added, the organizers will need time to apply for licensing. And sustainability: this is the 13th annual car show, providing to be a well-attended event. Option number 1, for Council to approve the use of identified public lands for option A or B of the attached identified proposal, and direct administration to develop a use agreement and land use fee for Council approval. Option 2, for Council to deny the use of public lands for option A or B. And option 3, for Council to request additional information. Administration recommends option 1, utilizing option A in the attachment. This area isn't heavily used in the early June period identified for this activity. Administration is hesitant to support the consumption of alcohol on the beach area. However, this activity will be delivered based on liquor licensing regulations. Administration has no issue with closing the beach area for the event and making the beach available for the private function because of the low amount of use at that time of year.
Thank you very much, Mr. Davis. I just had 2 questions. One, it says June 1st to 3rd. My assumption is this is the Friday night?
The Thursday, actually. It is the Thursday.
It's just the Thursday, and
Yeah.
it's just one night.
Yeah.
And the other thing that occurred to me when I was reading this was that last year, at that time, there was a great deal of flooding on the lake, and I think that beach there might have been covered with water. So we're not sure yet what...
Swim-up bar.
A swim-up bar is fine. And I'm just wondering if that had been taken into consideration. Maybe when you talk to them, you might have a look at that issue. It may not be a problem, but we don't know yet.
It hasn't, as far as I know, unless there's...
I talked to them about it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's already been thought of. Okay. Councillor Campbell.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. Knowing how stringent and how tough it is to get a major event or special events permit, I feel good about the fact that any concerns we'd have around safety or anything like that will be covered through the application process. Having said that, I'd like to move that Council approve the use of identified public lands for option A of the attached identified proposal and direct administration to develop a use agreement and land use fee for Council approval.
Good. Is there somebody seconding that?
Yeah, I will.
Thank you. One of the things that I thought of when I was looking at this too, just to speak to that motion, I'm in favor of it, is that at one point before Gyro Park was used, the Cactus Jalopies lined up on the road in front of the post office. And so my assumption is that they've probably already gone through this type of a procedure, again, minus the liquor. Yeah. But certainly we've done this before to allow roads to be closed and so on. So,
yes.
Yeah, I'm certainly in favor of it. Anybody else? Okay, so all in favor of this, of option 1? Thank you. That's carried. Thank you. Mr. Davis, you're going to be looking at dealing with, or the CAO with dealing with that? Okay. It looks to me in the letter that the Sage Pub sent that they've thought of all of the issues that might be involved, so that's a good thing. Next is no notice of motion, so reports. This would be the general net payroll and Sun Bowl Arena financial accounts, and general cash requirements to February the 19th are $229,068.15. Sun Bowl cash requirements of $9,893.79, and those would be approved by consensus. And net payroll accounts of $70,945.82, and that is for information. Okay. And building permits. I see we've had a bit of a slowdown in our building permits. We have one, a foundation for a manufactured home, and one for a carport sun deck. So we're only at 100,000 this month. Usually we're into the millions. So
it's 100% of last year at this time, though.
Oh, well, and there you go. So I'm sure it has to do with the weather. I'm sure we'll see more building when it gets a little bit warmer. So we need to accept that report. Thank you. Councillor King, Councillor Campbell, all in favor. And the next is the bylaw enforcement. And where are we? I was talking to our bylaw officer today, and I said to her that things seem to be fairly similar from last year to this year. One of the things she mentioned was that she's been dealing with quite a few dogs off leash, dogs causing concerns, and dogs at large, and she's had to pick them up and keep them in the pound. So that's unfortunate. However, Pat Marshall is very good at dealing with all of those things, so we're glad that she's dealing well with them. Anybody else like to say anything about this? It's a fairly easy comparison. It's not super busy time, but lots of people are out walking their dogs. We just want people to be very careful about where they're going, and to make sure their dogs are on a leash and that they pick up after themselves. So do we need to approve this, accept this report? Thank you. Councillor King, Councillor Campbell, all in favor. Thank you. And next is the Dog Park, West Bench Dog Park Committee. And I see we have the minutes here. And we have two people here, Mr. Dinwiddie and Mr. Davis. Is there anything that you want? It looks like you've had a couple of meetings already, and you're feeling comfortable with the either one of you want to say anything about this? Or
Yeah, no, the committee's met a couple of times. Last meeting, we actually went over the plans for what is proposed to be built. We drew in some recommendations that our consultant will now draft up properly, and then we'll start the process of hiring the various contractors to do the various parts of the work. I believe Gerald has already got a couple of quotes for the fencing contractor and stuff like that. So.
Well, I just want to say thank you to both of you and to the committee for dealing with these issues and keeping, I don't know who takes the minutes. It's probably not one of you. Oh, it is.
It's
Well,
been
well
a very
done.
enlightening committee. It's actually been really good.
Well, and I'm glad, because you all seem to be very engaged in this, and I know that Councillor Rhodes has been, involved as well, and he's very happy with the way things are going, so thank you. Councillor Campbell.
Thank you. The feedback from the community has been very positive, as some of the highlights here have gone out through social media. Probably the one that stood out the most that people were excited about as a change from the other dog park was having the separate area for smaller dogs. I seem to get a lot of positive feedback, so it's great.
Good.
Good work.
Thank you. So could we have a motion to receive this? Thank you, Councillor Campbell. Councillor Youngberg, all in favor? Thank you. And next is our CAO report.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. Just a few things the administration has been involved in over the last couple of weeks, starting in community services. We start with a reminder that the community services grant applications are due Friday, February 23rd. Staff received an enabling accessibility grant for $32,000 to assist with the installation of a lift at Desert Park. However, we were unsuccessful in receiving funds from New Horizons for the pickleball courts. Staff has continued to meet with the West Bench Dog Park Committee, and they received a $1,500 after-school grant from BCRPA to enhance our Activity Kids program. The spring leisure guides will be going to print February 27th. The Family Disco Day skate was a success this year, with about 130 people attending, and we provided free hot dogs and drinks. Thank you to the Rotary Club, who donated a meat and cheese and veggie platter, AG Foods, who donated cupcakes, and the Spirit of the Games, who provided skates. Snowbird breakfasts this week, are the week of February 20th, 22nd, are held at the Sonora Community Centre in a gymnasium. Tuesday will be Alberta, Ontario, and Wednesday Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Corporate services, electronic records management, near completion of the files, moving files onto the network. There's a review of older town bylaws going with updating a list of current versus repealed and abandoned bylaws, and preliminary work on election processes, ensuring supplies are sufficient, and discussions with the school board and the RDOS. Planning and Development attended a community conservation evening in Summerland with representatives from the District of Summerland, BC Housing, and the Summerland Housing Task Force, and we're just looking at what some other communities are doing in the housing area. Also attended a Working in and Around Water and Species and Ecosystems at Risk workshop, and this is to do with new protocols for the riparian area assessments. An inaugural meeting with the Town Centre Renewal Task Force took place, and the terms of reference and the RFP for the consultant is being finalized. Currently working on an airport lands road closure, proposal to amend the zoning bylaw to accommodate new uses at the airport industrial subdivision, continuing to work on the Ribbit proposal, discussions with the provincial government regarding best tools for leasing the foreshore, and also with the applicant regarding rezoning proposal, and working on the data for the climate action report. In terms of public works, roadway shouldering throughout the community, liner removal in cell number 3 is now complete, odor control maintenance at all lift stations, pruning is going on throughout the community, met with Interior Health to discuss future water quality improvement plans, and received a final report from for the town hall assessment, and a summary report will be coming to council on March the 5th. In terms of myself, I received 3 proposals for the medical center feasibility study, and a report will be coming to council on March the 5th. Met with Destination Associates to discuss the economic development contract, continue to work on budget and business plan documents, and we were notified that we were unsuccessful in our grant applications for our sewer lift station and water main extensions. These projects will be reviewed in the budget for town funding. That's my report for today.
Thank you very much. Could we have a motion, please, to accept the report? Thank you, Councillor King, Councillor Campbell. All in favor? Thank you. And now on to council reports. Councillor King, you're first.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Well, I had the pleasure to attend that family open skate 2 weeks ago. I believe it was very well received. I'd really like to thank the Spirit of the Games, who actually had quite a few dozen ice skates to hand out to people that needed skates, and the Rotary for coming to the table to help support the event. Just a great event.
Good. Thank you. Yes, there were a few of us there, and it was great, well attended. The only trouble was it was dark, but it took me a while to get accustomed to that, having it dark. Councillor Youngberg.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. Because I've been away for a few days, I only want to tell everybody that we live in a wonderful country, having just been away in a third world country. We have to really, really appreciate what we have here. And sometimes I need reassurance from time to time.
Good. Well, thank you. Councillor Rhodes is en route home, so he is not available online today. And Councillor Campbell.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. Just to what Jim was just saying about the Family Day Skate. A lot of different organizations involved, a lot of volunteer work. A really fun day. Kids definitely had a great time. I attended the Career Day at Osoyoos Secondary School, where we got to speak to several students that had set themselves up at tables in the foyer, sort of showing what their accomplishments have been in their secondary school experience, but also gave us an opportunity to ask specific questions about their future. Pretty impressed with, I guess, how together these kids are these days as far as knowing their plans, not just what they want to be and what they want to do, but how they're going to get there financially and some of the things they want to accomplish along the way. So it was a great experience for me. I also attended the School District 53 committee meetings, and that's where presentations for any changes in curriculum or timetables or new programs brought to the schools are delivered to us, and so always informative. And lastly, I'll be attending this week the annual Air Cadet Quadrant Effective Speaking Competition, and I'll be on the judges panel there, so I'm looking forward to that.
Good. And Councillor Campbell and I were also at the education meeting at the school district office, where there is an update on the Career Day. What the Career Day is going to be sort of enhanced, and kids will now have a chance to really research one particular issue, something that they want to venture into, and go in a great deal of depth with it. We asked what happens if they change their mind, or what happens if it's not something that's appropriate, and they said, they just hope that by looking into the particular issue that it would perhaps lead to something that they were passionate about, and that they would that might lead to a job or further education down the road. So that was good. I attended a luncheon last week at the Osoyoos Elementary School, 21 Days of Kindness, and not only the kids but the staff got involved with this, and they just did a really good job of looking at how they could be, what they could do to make life better, and how they could be kind to other people. And I thought, it's too bad that that governments in various countries around the world didn't pay attention to this, because they could have learned a thing or two from the Osoyoos Elementary group. They did an excellent job, and it was well attended. I just want to say something about lake levels, because you may have noticed that the lake level is going up a little bit right now. It's still under 9-10 feet, and I say that because it's it's taken in the state, so they do feet instead of meters. So it was about 9.5 for quite a while, for the last month or so. It's going up a little bit right now, and the reason is that the dam in Penticton, they're letting out a little bit of water, anticipating that we could have an excess of water again this year, and because the snowpack is about 150% of normal at this point. And they're doing that, and then they're going to let some of it down, which is why it may be increasing for a while. And then they're going to stop and hold the water back, because the river channel between Penticton and Osoyoos Lake, it was a man-made channel that was put in the 1950s, I believe, about mid-1950s. And there is a need to shore up the banks of that because of the high levels last year. So that could see a little bit of fluctuation in the lake, but it's definitely being managed, and just didn't want anybody worried about it. I went on Saturday to Watermark, where there was a talk, the second of the talks from the Desert Society, and it was on bears. Quite an interesting film first, and then a bear specialist who talked about the different kinds of bears, how you protect yourself from them, and I know that Richard McGuire was there, and so you may see something in the paper this week. But it was very well attended. I bet there were 70 or 80 people there, and it's really a good event. There are 2 more of those events put on by the Desert Society. So I hope everybody is enjoying the cold weather. It's at least it's sunny. We can't have everything, but it's cold, it's clear, it's sunny, and if you don't want to go outside, then stay inside and watch the Olympics, because they're quite fascinating, and I see that Canada got another gold medal today, so that's a good thing. So thank you, everybody, and we will have a motion to adjourn the meeting. Councillor Youngberg, Councillor Campbell, all in favor. Thank you.